Welcome back, mere mortalites out there. We are back with another Meanderings.
Yes, we are.
Where we talk some shit, some absolute trash. Hopefully some of it comes out funny. I've got my co-host right next to me, Kyrin down.
Hello, people.
Hello. And I'm Juan Granados. Now, today for Mere Mortals, for the Mere Mortalites out there, what are we going to talk about? Well, for me, have you got anything on top of mind?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
so
alright.
a bit of casual reflections on my week and a continuation of a learning that's been pestering me for a little bit.
All right.
It's like a fun one.
Good, okay. And mine is more along the lines of maybe reflecting on the jobs that I've either done or currently undertaking as well.
Okay.
So maybe we'll kick off there. Recently, this was last time we walked down here, about 400 meters down there's some pretty nice restaurants. And at the same time, there was a driver who was basically sitting there with a Rolls Royce. So you could tell he's a driver for somebody. He's waiting for someone to finish off the really nice meal and then take them home.
So just to clarify, there's a little car turning area where you can come down in.
Yes.
It's a passenger drop-off sort of zone.
Correct. So you can pick up people. Basically, it's someone waiting there to pick up the individuals. Now, I walked by him and went, oh, man, that must be a boring job. Boring or a terrible job. Imagine waiting a couple of hours. Maybe you're not even allowed to look at your phone. You're just sitting there. It's kind of like staring into empty space. But what it made me think was, actually, in the comparison of a lot of other jobs, man, that wouldn't be too bad of a job. In fact, then I started reflecting on my own job. Like, oh, okay, I've done this contracting work, I've done engineering before, and sure, you'll every now and again complain and say like, oh man, I've got a pretty terrible job. Then I went, no, man, there's some really horrendous, terrible goddamn jobs out there.
Dirty jobs with micro.
Dirty jobs with micro. That's what it made me think of. And my question to you was, what do you think would be the absolute worst 3 jobs for you? Maybe because it's dirty, maybe because you'd just be so bored about it. I'll give you some time to think about it. So
okay.
I thought and put together mine. So mine would be, 1, doing anything to do with deep ground mining. If I had to be a miner, or if I had to be even an engineer working in deep mines, like where you're talking 12 hours, 14 hours underground, you're not seeing the sun, there's beautiful suns in my eyeballs right now,
Yeah.
None of that, I would be like, holy shit, get me out of here. I would just, like, I think you've mentioned it before, but I would get so depressed. I feel like I'd become suicidal like this. It'd just be so ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to have like the right setup for training, all this sort of crap. So I'd be like, no way would I do. I'd pay to get out of that, such a job. 2 for me would be a professional cleaner. Now, why a professional cleaner or any cleaning of sort? Look, if I have to clean, I will clean. But in the majority, I'm fine with living in some mediocre level of like filth, let's just say. But being a professional cleaner, I reckon both I would be so terrible at my job, both terrible and I would hate it. Like it would be a duplicate. So even if I tried really hard, I reckon like a client would come back and say, like, this is shit. This is the worst cleaning you've ever done. And I'd just be like, oh man, I'm not doing this. This is just horrendous.
I live within people. I can confirm one
Yes.
does not. You don't even know how to clean your dishes, man. Half the time I come back and there's still ants crawling over like the
cleanliness of it, exactly. Yeah. And third one for me, bus driver. So this made me reflect on that driver, the Rolls Royce. I went, oh, okay, that would be a pretty terrible job. And I went, surely there must be really worse driving ones. And I landed on bus driver because I both get really sick going on buses. Like if it's more than half an hour, I normally tend to get pretty, I just feel sick being on a bus. And I just can't wait to get off. And I'm just like, especially in the afternoons when I used to take buses to go back home from work, I would feel both sick and tired on the bus. And I'm like, oh man, I just can't wait to get out. And I went, driving around a bus, maybe I wouldn't feel as sick, but the continuous like jolting on the bus,
the stop starting would be pretty awful.
So those would be my 3 jobs. I'd be like, oh man, no thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Just on yours, none of them would be in my worst, but yeah, they'd definitely be in the lower half of the, okay, that would be a fun or stimulating or something I would enjoy doing. For me, what immediately jumped to mind was, just something absolutely filthy and probably a bit wet as well. So I used to do, just to clean some of the places from my dad's like driveway, for example, with the high pressure water hose. That was just an awful job because you're getting wet all the time and it's like this wet griminess mixed with it. Yeah, okay. So I would imagine there's sort of jobs like that, but where you just get soaked everywhere. So if you're doing high, and that was just pointing on the ground. So if you're having to do it like at face
Yeah, it's
height,
getting all
stuff
over
above you. So anything where you'd get continually wet and continually dirty, that would just be absolutely awful. I don't think I would enjoy that. And other that comes to mind would be one where you have to really force being happy and smiling and things like that. I listened to a podcast last night on some retail stories, and it was a podcast of like, you know, young 20s.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was called like Babbling Besties, I think it was. And yeah, they were just talking about how people would like shit in the store, like shit in the changing rooms.
What? In the store?
Yeah. It, like this lady brought her dog in, and this dog was just running around, then shit like right in the middle.
Oh,
and things
okay,
like
fair
that.
enough.
But no, actual excrement like in the changing rooms, semen in the changing rooms, just rude ass people all the time, things like that. So
the things you don't think about.
I'm thinking, you know, a version of that, but where it's even
more filthy.
even like not filthy, but you're expected to just maintain this professionality all the time.
Sure.
Like there's no chance of slacking off. There's no chance of having a quick like break in character with your friend, and you're dealing with shitheads. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe in like I don't know if higher class people are shitheads when they're, you know, in certain situations, maybe in a restaurant where it's super busy and they're just, you know, complaining all the time, doing all these things, potentially something
maybe,
like that.
Yeah.
And when there's just like this forced, like, yeah, no, you have to be, oh, hi, oh, how are you going? Yeah. Even when someone's in your face yelling at you or whatever. So those two, and then probably, yeah, just like a real monotonous day in, like every day you're doing something, but it just disappears, which to be honest is most work. That's
true.
That's There's no things like that. But that was one of the things that really irked me about my old one. So potentially a job where you not only don't see a difference, but you see the small difference that you make being erased each time.
Almost
like,
immediately.
Yeah, like imagine, you know, you're painting, you're a street cleaner or something, and you clean streets, and then the graffiti comes, and then you clean the graffiti, and then like...
it all comes again.
Yeah, like it's before the paint is dried.
The next day, and it's like, yeah.
So something like that, I think that would be
right
maybe, on my shit
actually,
list.
Not that I thought about it, but yeah, maybe as a professional cleaner, I'm thinking maybe like a toilet cleaner or something. You know, you basically go from a top level all the way down, and you go back to the top level already. It's dirty.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, man. What's the point?
Yeah.
You know, you almost get to, like, what the hell is the point of this cleaning?
Yeah. But it's, you know, very particular. Some things which I said could sort of be fun. So I could imagine actually cleaning the outside of windows of skyscrapers where I'm getting wet continually all the time, and there's probably grimy and there's bird shits and stuff like that. But I think I'd actually enjoy, you know, that thrill or something from it. I don't know.
Adrenaline rush from it. Yeah, perhaps.
So you know, depends on the exact thing.
The exact thing of it. Okay.
Honestly, but probably a worse boss. If you're like, if you had to ask me, would you have like a really shit boss but work that's fantastic, or a, you know, shit work but a boss that's fantastic? I wouldn't know what to say to that, because just the people you work with.
And you can't immediately say that it's, oh, maybe you'd pick the boss, but if something else pushed it along the line, then you'd be like, yeah, definitely. Just because even if the work is shit, it's like a good ambience or a good little community or a good little culture. Yeah, that'll beat it hands down.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll just go on to mine now. So if you've checked out the monthly goals by now, you'll sort of understand what I'm talking about. Okay. When so go check that out if you want. But my mere mortal moment will be like something like easy squeezy, light and breezy. That's the momentum I'm getting into. Okay. So I'm noticing just how, and this is just that learning from the retreat I did, which was essentially like I'm making myself suffer unnecessarily. So I'm taking away a lot of stuff, and you know, I'm not only am I noticing that nothing has really changed, like it's not like, oh shit, world's
all
falling.
of a sudden, you've taken away all these things.
It's you know, if anything, the podcast is doing better. If anything, like the Instagram is staying the same. You know, all this effort I was putting into it was just, you know, being pissed into the wind, so to speak. So not only that, but I'm managing to have like more fun just creating the thumbnails, for example. Or if you've checked out any of the recent book reviews, they're like the stupidest, like half-assed things. But this is getting to that point I also said recently about, you know, look into your past to see what you want to do in your future. I used to make memes like that with my family all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll see if I can find some of them, but there would be ones where I would like plaster my brother's face like in these things, and then I'd make like little mini faces, and then I'd make like a Nazi symbol out of his faces. And you know,
I did used to use something similar to that.
Yeah,
and all the time.
And you know, I wasn't using Adobe Photoshop.
Sure.
I was using Paint
Yeah,
and
yeah.
PDF Viewer and some sort of like merging software, which was bullshit.
Just a question on the maybe not a pushback, but a thought on the, because you were saying maybe the easy breezy lemon squeezy. Was that the one?
No, I think it was
the other way around.
something. I didn't say lemon. I said light and squeezy.
Oh,
or something.
light and squeezy. There you go. Easy stuff. But no, my question was, what if, I mean, in the immediate short term, it feels like, oh, well, nothing's changed. It's totally fine. I could get rid of it. But then ultimately, do you feel like, oh, well, but if you'd kept that going for 12 months, 24 months, then you'd see the actual effort kind of pay off. You know, the whole, if you do 1% extra, like the point to the power of 0.01, then, okay, sorry, not power of 0.01, power of like 1.01.
Yeah.
Then, sure, you don't see anything for the first 6 months or the first 6 iterations, but then you see it at 12 and then 24 and then 48. Do you think that there could be maybe just the fact that it's such a short-term view of the data that it could be like, oh, actually, dang, if I had to keep going, sure, not only would it have been more improved now in the short term, but even more so in the long term? Or is the benefits you're seeing now way better?
I think yes, but I could just ask that of every single thing that you're doing. You know, are you doing that with your teeth brushing so that therefore your teeth are, you know, in 12
Extra
years'
brighter.
time, extra bright,
Extra
and
cleaner.
you know, or not even that, just are they maintained enough that you're not needing to go and get your whole face caved out because of the cavities and things like that.
Nobody's out there being like, I'm going to brush my teeth like an extra 10 seconds every single day to the point that it's like, it's so bright that I can't even look at my own teeth in the mirror.
Yeah, but this is a good thing you've just reminded me of. So yes, in a sense, but I would say I've been particular with what I've been cutting out. So it hasn't just been like, oh, mere mortal stuff, fuck it, I'll cut out 10%
or like,
of
I'm
everything.
not going to do any handstands.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'll cut out the things that I don't think are working, that, you know, if I cut it away here, am I going to notice a difference? Should I notice anything here?
Yes.
So yes, onto that. Brendan made a good point the other day where he was saying he goes through phases of he'll get really lazy and he'll just be, you know, why do I need to work out this particular day? I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling tired and stuff. Why do I force myself? And then, you know, that related to work and other things. And then he'll come to another phase where he'll go, oh man, I've been lazy as shit. Like I haven't been doing stuff. Time to like knuckle
Jack
down.
up. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's listen to a couple of Jocko podcasts. He actually mentioned Jocko and
did he?
Yeah.
Dang.
And so he was saying, now's like determination phase. I'm going to go that sort of thing. So I think having that balance of, you know, just looking as you're falling and then going back into it. The other thing I wanted to mention was Jordan Peterson. A lot of times I've heard him talking about, you know, there's certain people out there who are like, how productive can I get? You know, if I nailed down everything, if I made every single good decision in my life, is that, you know, almost the equivalent of Jesus walking on water? Because he was sort of insinuating in a way like, oh, I don't know what could happen to reality if someone lived in that, you know, perfect state of doing everything right. And so I was sort of thinking, you know, I've come across that in the past. I've semi-liked it, and then I've always really disliked it because I just find there's this thing where you try and get more and more productive, you try and do more and more things, strive more and more, and then you realize you're burning out, so you try and be more productive with your downtime so you can then be more productive. And it just gets to a phase where it's like, well, I could do all that, or I could just relax a bit, you know.
Sure, yeah.
Like it's like I don't have to go too hard. So I'm going to show you what some of the things I've been creating while I've been relaxing. So
you've been creating some things. So Kyrin Dunn's about to pull something out of the bag.
So if you want to know
So for those actually, he's pulled out some blocks.
If you want to know what I get up to at the park, and like this is just pure Kyrin, classic Kyrin behavior right now. So there's at the park, I take my shirt off because I'm doing handstands, falls down over my head, and plus everyone wants to see my abs because I'm fucking stunning. The second thing,
what happens when you're weighing sub 75 kilos?
Yeah, so I used to put my shirt in the bag, and then I found out but I still like a little bit sweaty sometimes because even just getting to the park, I'll be sweaty in the car, and then I'll still have like sweat. So you know what? I'll hang it up, and then it can sort of dry a little bit. So when I put it on again, it just feels a bit nicer.
Yeah.
So there's this pole there, and so I put the shirt over the pole, and it's because the pole has a little board on it right near the top. It sort of sits on it, and then the top of the pole almost looks like a little neck. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then So I put that up, and then I started putting my hat on top of it every now and then when I wore the hat there. I was like, oh, look, I'm making a little friend.
Yep.
I take my shoes off when I'm doing my workout, so then I put them at the bottom, and it's like, man, I'm creating a little person here. So, that was it. That was the point that I got to on that. And then Brendan gave me these blocks recently. A couple of blocks, good for one-arm stuff.
Yep.
And I realized I can make it even better. So what have I done? I've created some faces. So I'm now putting this on top of the pole. So I'll put it on top, then I'll get a hat, and I'll put my hat over it, so that it's like covering the other half of the face. So it's becoming even more lifelike.
Of a humanoid thing.
Then bloody, like, I'm telling you, manifesting is something, because I'm starting to create this guy. Like, I'm starting to give him a name, Dave.
Yeah.
And I'm at the park yesterday, and I'm just wandering around. I'm like, what the hell is that what I think it is?
Dang, what has he found? He's pulling something else out of the bag.
Oh, God, where's it gone?
Dang, he's lost him.
It's right in the corner where I can't find it. Give me a sec, people.
Here we go. So, yes, for those who are unaware now, Kyrin is creating his own hermit-like creatures nearby him, so when he's working out, he can be surrounded by at least some humanoid looking.
Just a friend. I'm like, I was sort of thinking, like, you know what? I could even get my phone, put it near it, and then just record like an hour of me going like, yeah, you got it, man. Hold it. So just to,
God, I hate that sort of stuff. I hate that sort of stuff.
And so what did I find? I found a broken belt. And even perfect. So I wrapped this bloody, because, I have my, like, it's looking kind of human-like at this stage. It's got the shirt, it's got the head, the face, the bag sitting at the side, shoes at the bottom. But I was like, there's no, there's no...
Need some separation here.
There's no underwear. There's no, lower body part. How can I show this even more? So the broken belt, I can sort of just wrap this around the pole as is. And I'm thinking I might even, because I keep a towel in my workout bag, I might even like try and start connecting like a towel, like a little sarong type thing in there. And then, dude, it like the amount of effort I'm putting into this thing instead of working out is amazing.
Which is interesting, right? Like, some people, you're like, right, we're talking mere mortals. Some people will go like, what an absolute waste of time.
What a tool.
And my immediate thought is like, wow, what a waste. Like, why would you even do that? You're going to be doing all these other things during that time, or not wasting your time, but doing something else. But as like you're saying, like, the reality is like, sure, but you could go and say that about almost everything. Like, you could be like, well, why do you cook for an hour? Just eat in 5 minutes. Why do you do this? You could, whatever. Yeah. And while the truth of it is, like Jordan says, yes, I mean, you could, but are you going to be like walking on water like Jesus? No, probably not. And you're probably going to just either burn out at some point or lose somewhere else. Like, you're not going to be the most effective human and efficient human ever at everything. Like, just impossible.
Yeah. And it's just, I suppose my point is like, yes, I definitely fell into the trap of working too much, striving too hard, wanting too many things, the classic, Western sort of mindset, I guess. Sure. And the cure for it is to have a little fun, just not take yourself too seriously. How much time do I actually spend on this? Well, some of the things are necessary. I do need to take my shirt off. I do need to take my
it's
shoes off.
happening.
So so it's like just another part of the routine. It probably adds an extra minute to 2 minutes on top of my thing to do these things.
It's not over the top, and it can be a little bit of fun.
Yeah. So, that's just the learning that I've been having recently, and it's fits into meanderings because it's silly.
Look, I mean, it's we're talking about it. And it just sounds a little bit crude and weird to people.
I'm going to put up a couple of photos because by the time this comes out, I'll have had time to create a couple of these things. So,
yeah. God, but like I also see the same thing, even in a work context, and when the whole conversation happens of like, what would you go play a game for 20 minutes online, or ping pong match or something with a team or something like that?
Let's just take your basketball shooting that you were doing a couple of months ago, or even the kicking that messed up my hand.
Yes.
Well, what was the point of those? How did they fit into your...
Yeah, then, truthfully, it's like, oh, well, it doesn't fit into anything in particular, to any of the goals or anything like that. And I'm, in part, in my mind, it's like, oh, well, I'm running around, so it's a little bit of cardio.
Yeah, you were definitely trying to bullshit your way as to why it was useful.
There's something there, right? And it's still in the mindset of like, oh, well, it's effective, that's why I'm doing it. But at the end of the day, like, I just like kicking a footy. Like, that's just enjoyable to me. And I remember where I used to live with mum and dad, I would go out to the park and kick a footy between two trees, like if there were goalposts, and I would do that for 2 hours, right? Drop kicks,
this is
set kicks.
This is like the most like migrant story I've ever heard. Young kid goes out and is just kicking a football by himself from one end to the end because he has no friends.
That's all I would do. I just kick it back and forth, back and forth. I didn't have the ingenuity of Kyrin to make a inanimate object.
Exactly.
It was just the ball.
Yeah.
It was just the ball.
You just had your imaginary friend.
but even funnily enough, it's like I wouldn't even want people there. Like it was an activity that I was like, no, I'm having much more. Like if someone came and I had to play, I'd be annoyed. I remember a couple of little kids at the time would come around and be like, oh, can I play with you? And I'll be just frustrated. I'd be like, no, go away. I just want to kick the ball on my own, back and forth. That's all I want to be doing.
For sure.
So, anyways, it's just a little rant on kicking the ball.
Little kids don't go near one.
Here's a little, maybe not what if, but what would you rather? Okay. So what would you rather to end this off? Would you rather only be able to drink coffee for the rest of your life as a liquid?
Okay.
No, not any other liquid. Just coffee, or never work out again?
Oof. I gotta say, never work out again like that. I don't think I'm not sure how long I would live, and I'm not sure life would be worth living drinking only coffee. I think that'd be a pretty shit way to live.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you say that, because I thought, well, I wonder if he's going to sway towards the other one. For me, it'd be like 100% just working out. I think I'd make.
How messed up would your body be after just years of only coffee drinking?
Well, I look at my mum.
You complained to me about your bloody water bottle not being able to drink water for
definitely
this hour.
But, however, in comparison to the workout,
what kind of weak coffee? It's got to be strong coffee. Black coffee.
Okay, it can be black coffee.
Strong black coffee.
Yeah, but my mum, not that she was drinking only explicitly coffee forever, but there was a big portion of her life where I remember as we got older, we were like, Mum, you got to drink water. She would not drink water. What she would have is like 2 cups of coffee in the morning, another cup of coffee like through the day, and have a sip of water at night with dinner. That's it. And she did it for years.
Yeah,
and years.
okay. Actually, I'm sort of wondering now, what if I just ate a lot of cucumbers per day? Because those are 96% water, something like that. Maybe
aren't humans like 60% water as well?
Yeah, just start eating cucumbers. Okay, I could maybe get away.
Yeah. You could get a watermelon, maybe, plenty of watermelon.
Yeah, just smash that. That might be possible.
Yeah, okay.
It still would make a lot of things difficult, though.
Yeah, it would be really annoying. It would be super annoying.
Very annoying. Very, very annoying.
Yeah, but there you go. All right, anything else from yourself, sir?
No, I think that's
all right.
that's
good. We're going to cap it there.
What was your mere mortal moment? Did you have one?
My mere mortal moment was, let me just bring it up. It was around the jobs. It was, God, we have it lucky in our chosen professions. So I think at least 99% of the mere mortalites out there, apart from the professional cleaners who are listening to us, or if you're a miner, my apologies for disrespecting your job, but it is the truth that I would hate to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was any dudes out, like my limited experience. I'm not sure there would be any who would say, man, this is the most fun I'm having. Like, I'm glad I'm down.
True.
There's nowhere I'd rather be.
That's right. Yeah. And just to cap it all off, all the fly in, fly out people obviously going to the mines. Those are the ones who actually brought in all the recent COVID cases into Brisbane as well. So it's even shitter. It's like
legends.
They're the ones bringing in COVID strains or whatever. It's like even more hated. Or at least they're like, oh man, my goddamn job. Anyways, folks, that's been the meandering session out and about. If you've enjoyed listening to us, if you're listening it on the audio, make sure you're either following, subscribing, liking, sharing, rating, whatever you may want to do. If you're watching on the video right now, YouTube, you would have checked out the blocks that Kyrin was showing. Do you create humanoid-like creatures out of inanimate objects or imaginary friends? Let us know.
And do you do it in full broad daylight?
Yeah, for everybody.
Right next to the basketball court.
Do you try to find a belt for your little friend? Let us know.
Look, I didn't try and find it. The belt found me.
The belt found you. Yeah, manifesting it for sure. That's it, folks. All right, until next time. One out.
Kyrin out. Yeah.